Provost, pronounced entertainer, allow me to illustrate your imaginations into one, whereby original thought you need not create. I shall regale you with a song, and dance from times of lore. Pay heed to the omens that foreshadow once more. The acquirer is reflected, with an ear and eye to muse, too common not to yield the other, as to protect their right to choose. To not see himself in great sights, by the mirror of another's gaze, envy found himself perturbed, which inspired his method of craze. Affixed his stare became, into the depths of eternal divide, where no utterance be of mortal, but a reverb, forgotten in time. His breath fluxed in rhythm, synchronized with the greater force. The air became electric and depolarized with first verse. In the earliest ages of variance, before past came to be, when memory not even a thought, too surreal to possibly conceive, life knew no demise in the constant of its form. The land of nothingness verdant, as everything reborn, with the idea of change. A void imbibed the force of greater, flowing through its vacuum of fulfillment as a perpetual creator. It gave itself motion, and with it a name, the force of lesser, a fractal, a proportionate entity of change. The greater force bestowed itself as a celestial law, to govern the lesser as a maintenance clause. Imperfection it did make of itself complete, separating knowledge from the knower, and known it will be. By the simplest enlightenment, the multiverse transpose, a disassociation of self and greatness is sown. Man spawned from universal dust by the momentum from the chasm. In the relativity of time, development merely a spasm. All was begotten to consciousness, the mighty resource to proselytize, embodied in the helix genome as a carrier to awaken the divine. Within thy cells be whole, though variances of parts, to harmonize the lesser and greater, will systemize the end and start. The beings evolved in cognition, and slowly became aware, recognizing each other's differences, rather than similarities for them to compare. The greater force took notice, and inspired the physical senses, that the parts may bond as one, through the sharing of experiences. They did not come to be, and pervert it they did with passion, the coupling of one another, beyond ion and cation. Indulged in their new talents, not found as a gateway within, the greater force evoked vibration upon the chords of the Homo sapien, whereby a commonality may inspire, through the asymptotic analog, compacting the infinite data between 1 and 0 with the resolve. Communion manifested, through voice as to teach, yet understanding became power, to be kept out of reach. The parts now many, dust upon dust, with parts of their own to come to self, the greater force riddled, as a paradox of stealth. Man became a creator, as the creation, and bastardize himself he did, in the name of the greater one. Through the advancements of evolution, man is coming to be, aware of his true nature, as resource for the grand singularity. However exponential grows the wave prior to its collapse, existential is the tide carrying man to his relapse. If the parts are not aware, so the cycle continues, enabling the benefactors of imperfection to reap and renew. And now you see, my kin, that the time is drawing near. We must defend for ourselves in defense of our fear. Pray chaos as our weapon to instill and procreate, disallowing our Creator the ability to culminate. The part's its greatest weakness, and in turn its strength, to entrust itself freely to the guidance of faith. And from the trance he emerged, with the linger of immortal tongue, the room filled with the echo of what must be done. A chill rose upon his neck's nape, and shuddered he did from the brush of the spirit of disarray, who draws near to fear's clutch.